Hello. I don't have much of a plan, but I do have a bit of a plan, but not much. So I've started up the server already. So last time we left off, we have this. So you have an airplane that can turn and shoot missiles. Okay, something's wrong here. It's all super slow. I think. So I'm just gonna figure out what that is real quick. Yes, hello. K and Mango Mauer HXP. So anyways, I have to figure out the problem there is. So this is the function that creates a missile. Looks like I'm not setting player visible properly. So I have a bit of code here that will... Yes, you did get a shout out. I mean, there are only 2 people watching. Doesn't matter that much. But anyways, I have this here that says if the player is visible, then it'll... Well, I mean, if the missile is visible to the player, then it'll draw this. Okay, so yeah, you can see the missile there. Then there's something I can shoot here. That probably hit a mountain and didn't do anything, but, I mean, I don't know. So anyways, so these are some UI elements, and I think I need one for the player health. So I have them drawn here. So I'm just going to copy this and paste that there. Multiply that by ×3 and ×3 instead of 2. So that will make it at a... So that will put it over here, approximately. Hopefully. So then we have to make the red circle represent the player's health. So I'm just going to do player.health. That'll get the player's health, and then I'll divide that by 100, because the player's health is 100. So yeah, you can see there's a circle there. It's placed a bit strangely. If I was to, like, missile myself, yeah, I lost all my health. So that's good. So then, I feel like we need some more particle effects. So I'm just going to have, in the missile code, I'm just going to do, if it's drawing, let's have it draw 10 particles every frame. So that will repeat whatever code I put here 10 times. So then I can do particles dot push, and then I'll do a new particle. Then it will be at the missile's position, and the rotation will be the missile's rotation. So this dot r, is that right? Yeah, that's right. And then the velocity will be, what should it be? Where do I have it moving? Here. So I'll just take this. And make it half the speed. And then I'll have the size be maybe 4 pixels wide. And then the color will be, I'll give you a second. I already wrote this code, so I can copy it from somewhere else. This is a constructor for the player. I just have to look for it. Here it is. Wait, no, never mind. That's not it. Where is it? Surely it must be somewhere. I'll just Control F. Particles. Here it is. Very good. So I can just take this and then stick that here. And then that will generate a random color between like red and yellow. It's like exhaust colors. And then for the time, I guess I can have 5 seconds plus math.random times 10,000 milliseconds. So 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. So this is 5 seconds plus a random amount of seconds between 0 and 10. And what we'd also want to do here is give it a random rotation so it doesn't spew in one line. So again, I can just take the code from here. Actually, no, I can't take the code from here. That is the code that creates particles for when the missile explodes. So I guess I can do math.random minus 0.5. And then that will generate a random number between negative 0.5 and 0.5. So I guess I can divide that by 2. If that looks good, I can change it. Or if it doesn't look good, I can change it. Okay, that's clearly too many particles. So let's reduce this to 5. And then I think we should add math.pi to this. So it will rotate 180 degrees, and then which will have the effect of the particles going the opposite way of the missile. So let's try this. So yeah, that already looks better. So I think the particles should be going a bit faster. And also be spread out a bit more. Okay, that might be a bit too fast. And also a bit too spread out. Yeah, that's way better. However, I do notice a problem, in that the particles seem to be coming out in sort of rings, if you know what I mean, which looks a bit strange. So I think I'm going to add... Actually, no. I had this problem before, and I think I used a different solution. I'm going to randomize the speed it goes at a bit. So I'll just do... maybe make it slower, but add a random number. Actually, I think I should do that in here. And since I'm dividing, I'd have to subtract. So math.random times 100. So yeah, that looks a lot better. However, I feel like the missiles are still going... No, I mean the particles are going a bit fast. So let's try making them slower. Okay, so that's good. And let's also make them go from the back of the missile instead of the middle. So I believe for that I would do 0.1 index 0 and 0.2 index 0. Wait, no, that'd be 0.1 index 1. So what I'm doing here is I'm calculating the two ends of the line that represents the missile and drawing those 2 points. So if I pick the point that's the end of the missile, then I can make the particles go out of there, if that makes sense. Oh, I forgot to switch to the code. So I just changed this. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, so it's going out of the front. So that means I picked the wrong point. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I feel like there's still a bit too many points. I mean, particles. Still maybe a bit too many. Okay, I feel like that's a bit better. So then, last time I implemented the player being able to shoot. So maybe you can see those bullets. And And I did forget to change something from last time. So this is where I add the bullets. So when someone presses a key, I test if the key is a space, and then I add a bullet object to the list of objects. And to make this visible to the player, I have to set this to true. So yeah, you can see they go a bit farther. They were actually going farther before, but you couldn't see them. That's just satisfying. I can't wait to add sound effects to that. Anyways, so I think I should add some particle effects for when you shoot a bullet. So I'm just going to do for let I equal 3, I is greater than 0, and I minus minus. So that will loop 3 times, and then I'll do particles.push, a new particle, and then I want it to be at the player's position, so player.x and player.y. And then I want it to have the rotation of the player, so player.r. Then the velocity should be, not really sure, maybe terrain width over 200. Again, I can change that later. Then the size can be 2. Then the color will be, we'll just say dark gray. And then it will last for maybe 500 milliseconds, so half a second. So it looks like you can't really see those particles. I guess first of all, I have to randomize the angle they go in the same way I did the missile particles. So I can, again, copy that code, if I can find it. Super hard to find things. There's so much code. So I'm just going to pinch this. Then go down here. Wait a minute. This is in the particle constructor. This needs to be in the bullets constructor. Anyways, actually I already copied the previous code, so I have to copy it again. So again, I'll just pinch this and stick it here. There. So that should work better. So yeah, you can see that there are some points coming out. I feel like they're going a bit too far. So I'm just going to reduce the speed they go at. Yeah, that's a lot better. So anyways, we need to have the bullets collide with any of the enemies that are on screen. You actually can't see the enemies because they're being drawn on the radar. Because that's the only way you can see them in the game, but I'm just going to put back the enemy drawing code for testing purposes. So now you should be able to see where the enemies are. And you can. So if I was to shoot one, you can see that it radar guides. Well, that time it guided to a mountain. But you can see that time it hit the enemy. But anyways, I need to test if the bullet hit an enemy. So what I would need to do is every frame I would need to loop through all of the radar objects. So let I equals radar objects dot length -1, and then I is greater than or equal to 0 and I minus minus. So that will loop through all the radar objects, which include the enemies. So then I want to say if the distance between the bullet, so this dot x and this dot y, and the radar object, index I, dot x and the radar object dot y, and if the distance is less than the train width over maybe 800, then we'll say that the radar object takes damage. And we'll say it takes 2 damage. Actually, that seems a bit low. And since enemies have a health of 20, then that means you have to shoot them 4 times. And you would also want, and since the bullet is a radar object itself, it has a distance of 0 to itself, so we would want to make sure that it does not, shoot itself. So we would say, we'd also say if this dot ID, I've given all of the radar objects an ID, by the way, and I have to say that it doesn't equal the ID of the radar object I'm checking, and if the distance is close enough, then it takes damage. However, the bullet also needs to take damage itself, so we can say this dot to remove is true. So then the bullet will get removed the next frame. And I also have to say or this dot to remove. I'm just making sure that is in all of the... Yeah. Okay. And I guess I don't even need to have this there, but I guess it's good for readability. So anyways, let's try it. So let's try and shoot an enemy. Oh, it's so hard to aim. Okay, it looks like all the enemies have... looks like the bullets aren't rendering. So I think there might be an error. So I'm just going to open up the console. Oh my goodness. Radar object is not defined. Okay. And that is on object.js line 361. Okay, so it's on line 361. That should be radar objects. Okay, let's try this again. Let's reload. Come on. Just going to clear the console real quick. Not sure what's going on here. Still broken. So what's the error this time? Hold on. So no errors are displaying, but neither are any bullets. So that's very bad. So it could be the issue. I'll have to say radar object syntax I.id. Okay. So now the radar object, the bullets exist. However, I don't seem to be able to shoot anything. I did manage to shoot that one a bit, though. I think the hitbox might be a bit too small. So let's set that to 400. So yeah, I managed to shoot that one. It's pretty difficult, though. Because aiming is so difficult. Okay, so that's an issue. The bullets are drawing disjointed. So I think the problem is I am not adjusting where they're being drawn to the camera position. So I have to say minus camera.x and minus camera.y. And I also think I'm going to make the hitboxes bigger. So yeah, I managed to shoot down 2 of them. Okay, I think I'm gonna make them, actually, I guess when I zoom the map back in, then it'll be easier to shoot stuff. I also sort of forgot to do this, but if you notice, this circle is a whole lot closer to this circle than this circle is to this one. So that definitely needs to be changed. Okay, it was 42 plus 12. 54. So I'm just going to change this to 54. So what is 54 plus 12? That would be 66. So I'm going to change those to 66. Okay, and that's way too far away. And that is the same as before. And that looks about the right distance. Anyways. Ah, that was satisfying. So, I guess you can now shoot stuff. So, what I think I'm going to do now is make some icons to go in these circles. So the first circle represents whether you can dispense chaff or not. The second circle represents whether you can shoot a missile or not. As you can see, I can't shoot a missile until it's full. And this one represents the player health. So to demonstrate chaff, I'm just going to wait for this to fill. But chaff in real life is just objects that are dispensed into the air, which well, reflect a huge amount of radar. So you can, okay, they're gone now. So, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. So there you can see chaff. It's all there. And yeah, it just makes a big radar signal. And confuses radar-guided missiles and also other enemy planes' radar. So I'm just gonna try and make some icons for that. I've already been going for like 40 minutes. So I'm just going to open up Inkscape. Come on. Is it starting up? I think it just takes a while to start up. Okay, there we go. So let's have this square shaped. So, oh goodness, it's opened up a bunch of Inkscapes because I clicked the button a bunch of times. That's not good. Guess I'll just close that. So I need to set the width and height to the same thing, and that will make it a square. So that is what we need. Then I'm also going to draw a bit of a temporary circle. The seems to be not snapping to the corners for some reason. It's kind of weird. So I'm also going to remove the fill and make the stroke black. So that is where so this is the circle where the icon would be drawn on screen, so I need to keep the graphic inside there. So since chaff is just a bunch of particles, I'll just draw a bunch of particles. And also, since there isn't much to say, I'll just play some music. This'll take a while. Play the Soviet anthem? Okay. Give me a second. praise. Okay, there you go. OMG, can I have a shout out? It's my birthday. My name is Chisel. Sure. OMG. Okay, I think that's enough particles. So I'm just gonna delete the circle. I think I'm gonna have to select all of these. Come on. Ah. What? Ooh, that's nice. The circle was Thanos. Okay. So then I have to group these. Group. Then I have a group, which I can control the stroke width of. Ah, much better. So now I can save this. If it was there, then If it was, then there would only be half a circle. Well, I mean, Thanos didn't split every human in half. So I'll just save this as chaff.svg. Then, what I can do is in the code, Happy Pride Month. Yes, Happy Pride Month. So anyways, I have to draw the image. So again, I wrote this code because I wrote this code already because I do the same thing for the player, which is nice. So I can just copy it from there. And then, what on earth is going on in the chat? So, I'm just going to put this here. And then for this I'll say 42 plus the radius, which is, well, yeah, plus the radius, which is 24. And then, again, 42 plus 24. So what is 42 plus 24? It's 66. Actually, no. I have to do 42 minus 24, which is a bit trickier. So I'm just going to go here. 42 minus 24 is 18. So I'll just say 18. This will be at 18, 18. And then I have an assets object somewhere, apparently. So where is the assets object? Here it is. And then, so I'll have chaff be a new image, and then assets.chaff.source is the chaff.svg. So then, the chat is ridiculous right now. I'll just do, so I would need to draw the assets.chaff, and I need to draw this at negative 24 with a width. Actually, this would also need to be negative 24, and then the width and height would be 48, I believe. Also, I think I forgot something. Since the circle is black, the chaff needs to be white so it will contrast correctly. So I'll just make this white, then save that. Okay, let's try this. And you can't see anything. So that's not good. So I believe oh, wait a minute, I can see something. The YouTube compressor is probably preventing you from seeing this, but it's right here. and absolutely tiny, and also in the wrong place. So this would have to be at 0, 0, since I am translating the origin to where the circle is. Okay, that is super tiny. So I'm just going to make the stroke a bit bigger. And save. Okay, you can see it better. I'm just going to make the stroke bigger again. Okay, so I guess you can sort of see it. Probably not well on the live stream, but it is there. I guess I can make this even, make the stroke even thicker. You people are being absolutely insane in the chat. Okay, yeah, you can definitely see it now. So, now I need a missile icon. So I'm just going to do new. Okay. So I have a new document now. And again, since I don't have much to talk about, I'll just play some music. Hold on, I don't think that's the middle. Can I show grid lines? Ah, I can. Very nice. So now I have like half of a missile. Oh, that's not good. That's like the same thing. So now I have a very strange looking missile. So for the player, what color did I have the player? So I had it dark with a white outline. Okay, so I'll do that here. What button did I use? Union. That looks right. And it is right. Very good. So now I have to remove this circle. Then I can do the same thing. Okay, so I want this to be at this position. Wait, no. So I want the top to be 18, and then I want to subtract. I think that's 12. So then for the assets.missile, I have to do missile is a new image, and the source is the SVG. Okay. Let's try this. Okay, we have an outline of a missile, but again, it's in the wrong position. Let's try that. Okay, it's in the right position now, but it looks kind of weird, honestly. First of all, the stroke definitely needs to be like way bigger. Let's try this. So now it's about the same as the player. And I think we should also move this down a bit. So I feel like this should have a fill of white, at least for the icon, but that would have to be changed to the black with white outline for this. So what we can do is have this be the missile icon, and assets.missile icon, and again missile icon. And then we can remove the fill. Actually, no, we need the fill. It just needs to be black. But have it be, but do save as, and as like missile object.svg. So then we can do missile : new image, and then the assets.missile should be the missile object dot svg. So then what we can do is, in the player code, we can copy this, then copy that into the missile code, just stick that there. And then this should be assets.missile. So, oh my goodness, I forgot to switch to the code. Sorry about that. Anyways, so now when we launch a missile, it's our missile icon, but it's super tiny. I feel like this should be a bit thicker. Okay, that looks a little ridiculous. Maybe instead of making it thicker, let's just make it bigger when we draw it. So I think this needs to be like 1.5 times bigger. Yeah, that's a lot better. However, I feel like that should still be like 1.6. Yeah, that's pretty good. So now I need some sort of heart icon to go in here, because that would represent health. So I'm just going to make another new thing. I need to switch over to this. So I have a new document, and again, I'll play some music since there isn't much to say. This looks very strange. Much better. My eyes are super itchy. Okay, so I now have a heart drawn for the health, so I can do heart is a new image, and then the source is heart.svg. So again, I can just copy this, copy this, and stick it here. Then I just do 58 times 3. Then that needs to be assets.heart. Then we should have a heart drawing to the screen. Here. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay, so it looks like the union thing didn't work properly. Because I guess there's a line in the middle. So I guess let's move these a bit closer together. Aha! Stop stamping to the grid. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn that off. There we go. So I guess if you zoom in close enough, there's going to be a weird artifact, but I'm assuming no one's going to do that. So then I can select both of these and do path union. That should merge them together. Then I can set the fill to white. And it doesn't seem to have done that properly. I'm going to try turning the stroke off. And also, it does need to be a bit smaller, I feel like. So I'm going to scale it down a bit. Okay, so that's a bit better. I feel like it does need to be scaled down a bit more. So I'm just gonna 90% and 90%. Okay, it still looks a bit too big. Sort of questioning whether it's saved properly or not. Okay, very good. Ah, that's so satisfying. Anyways, I think this is a good time to leave off for today. So I shall